Hello everyone, my name is Jenna. I have been on Mounjaro / Zepbound for about 6 months now. I've lost 69 pounds. I am super grateful for the GLP-1 medications, specifically Mounjaro and Zepbound. I wanted to talk today about a post that I saw in a support group. And the post was just kind of a heads up. Caremark, who is a pharmacy delivery service associated with CVS, is no longer delivering GLP medications to some people, and had said Mounjaro and Ozempic. Well, they didn't. The person who wrote the post didn't specifically say which medications, but that they were prioritizing diabetics. And I see a few things wrong with that. First of all, we have the insurance companies. Regardless of whether your doctor says, yes, you need a medication, the insurance company can smack denied on it and not pay for it. Someone who sits at a desk, has no medical background, but looks at their formulary and says, yeah, it doesn't matter what their health issues are. It doesn't matter about the pages and pages for the prior authorization that the office sent and the reason this person needs the medication, denied. And I think that should be what medication you're on should be between your physician and you. Why is someone who has no medical background, neither a doctor or a nurse, looking and deciding whether a medication is covered or not? Your doctor knows your medical history, knows what other illnesses, diseases, whatever you have. Why should the insurance company determine whether they are going to pay for a medication your physician feels you need? Even though you are paying in the United States high premiums for these insurances, you're putting forth all this money for them to say, yeah, no, even though the doctor thinks you need it, we don't. I think that is outrageous. Even if it is a doctor or a nurse looking at that information, they don't know you like their doctor is. That person is not going in depth to your medical records if they can get these prior authorizations and things out in 24 hours. No one is going into in depth to your medical records to understand you as a patient and why you might need a certain medication. Okay, so now we have a pharmacy, a delivery service determining who gets medication. And the problem with that is, just because you don't have a diagnosis of diabetes does not mean you don't need these medications just as much or more than someone who does have that diagnosis. They're not, again, looking at your full background. Nobody is looking to say, hey, well, this person is right on the border, pre-diabetic, almost diabetic, and they have high blood pressure, and they have fatty liver disease, and nobody's looking at that. They're going, yep, this person has diabetes, approved, this person doesn't, denied. And I think there is something very, very wrong with that. In the United States, we treat the illness, we treat the disease. We are not paying, or insurance companies do not like paying for preventative care. So, losing weight, Mounjaro, Zepbound, Ozempic, Wegovy, it is preventative. If you lose weight, hopefully you won't get all these other diseases that could come down the pike. Um, as a result of diabetes, as a result of being overweight, hey, maybe if I wasn't obese, they wouldn't be paying for my hospitalization for 3 days with COVID related pneumonia and complications and my O2 sat going into the 70s. Maybe if more preventative care was covered and these medications were covered, things like that wouldn't happen. But we in the United States don't care about preventative care. They care about the almighty dollar, and they care about making money for the insurance company. I just feel like the pharmacy saying, we're going to prioritize diabetics is not looking at the whole picture. I know there are diabetics celebrating and saying, finally, we've wanted this for a long time, blah, blah, blah. Well, then what's next? Are they going to look and say, well, this person was diagnosed with diabetes 20 years ago, so they take priority over someone diagnosed 5 years ago, even though the person, diagnosed 5 years ago is taking, insulin 5 times a day. I mean, how can you prioritize something like that? And how can you say that one person's illness is more severe than someone else's? Or one person's need is greater than someone else's? And then I know the argument will come, well, Mounjaro, and Ozempic were made for diabetics. Guess what? There are a lot of medications that started out in research for one thing, ended up being approved and working for something else, or they worked for the thing they were being researched for, but they found out it also helps with this. So I don't agree with that argument either, that, it was supposed to be for diabetics. Yeah, I understand that. That's very true. But they also found out it helped for weight loss, which is preventative and could prevent a whole host of illnesses. I just feel like people need to look at the big picture and what is next for this. Are we going to start taking care of our bodies and of our health and start preventing some of these illnesses? Or are we going to continue to treat the disease after it happened? I think common sense would tell you it is priority and important to treat the disease to treat the person and prevent diseases before they rear their ugly head. I mean, isn't that why we do mammograms to screen for breast cancer? Isn't that preventative? Or colonoscopies after 45? They have seen how dramatically that improves outcomes for people. Losing weight will dramatically improve outcomes for heart patients, for just a whole host of other things. So I think adding on another layer to the issue, we already have insurance companies and people denying things left and right and not wanting to cover these medications because they're expensive, despite us paying huge premiums every month. And now we're going to have a pharmacy if we can get through the roadblock of insurance. Now we have a pharmacy saying, nah, you know what? We're going to roadblock you too. From what I understand, it's just the delivery service that is doing this, which is fine, great. I just worry about it being like a domino effect. At this point, I've only heard it's Caremark and that it's not brick and mortar stores. It's not other pharmacies. I am just concerned about the domino effect of that decision that they made. So that is it for today. Please comment. Let me know. Do you agree? Disagree? Give me a like. I would love for you to follow me. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.